Well, concerns are being raised about discount cigarettes that are becoming more popular all the time. Here's NTV's Darren Bent with more.
Over the past year or two, you may have noticed some new brands of cigarettes on the shelves at the local stores. Many of them are discount cigarettes, sold for $1 or $2 less than the usual brands. But recently, the wording on the inside of one of those brands caused some problems for Sandra Boland of St. John's. She was trying to quit smoking, wearing the patch. But a misreading of this information on the inside of the package left her with the feeling that these cigarettes were addictive-free. It actually reads additive-free.
My little girl came home to me one evening and she said to me, she said, "Mom," she said, "do you know that there's addictive-free cigarettes out there?" And I said, "Yes, why?" And she said, "Yeah." She said, "All my friends," she said, "are smoking them." And she said, "Everybody at school is smoking them." And I said, "Well," I said, "you know, I wouldn't mind trying them. I'm trying to give up smoking, but like that would probably help me to get the crave away, the feeling of a cigarette in my hand away from me." And there was nothing in them, so I thought they were safe. And anyway, I went and I got them, and I was on them for a while, and I got really, really sick on them. I started taking panic attacks and everything on them.
Ms. Boland has contacted lawyer Richard Rogers to investigate the matter from a legal standpoint. Mr. Rogers says the wording on the package is of concern, especially if one takes a quick look at it.
And she was quite logical about her concern, and when I read the pack, it was very easy to read the word additive as addictive. In fact, even when I had people around the office read it in a very quick manner, they also read it as being addictive-free. And the only thing that separates the two words is the letter C.
There are still some big-sized warnings on the outside of the packages, but the discount brands of cigarettes now make up 20% of the overall market in Canada. Kevin Cody with the Alliance for the Control of Tobacco says a study has shown that the words additive-free gives people a false sense of security.
In actual fact, there was a survey done of some 525 smokers, and it was released in Helsinki a year or two ago. And they found that 41% of the smokers interpreted that to be less unhealthy. In actual fact, they were making comments like, "Well, I'm looking after my health, so I'm going with the additive-free." But the additive-free, there's no healthy cigarette, and additive-free is not at all what these people are thinking it is.
Another concern about these lower-priced cigarettes is that they become more affordable for people with less money.
I think there's definitely something wrong with it. It's telling us, it's giving the kids the opportunity to be able to buy these cigarettes because they're cheaper. They wouldn't be able to afford $9 a package. They can afford $7 a package.
The young people find it difficult to come up with the money. I know from an education background that young people try to buy cigarettes on a one or two at a time rather than a package, basically because they can't come up with the money to buy the package. So anytime the price is lower, there's a tendency that it can attract young people. So you have a combination of attracting young people and attracting people who are thinking about quitting because it's too costly.
When contacted today, a spokesperson for Rothmans, Benson & Hedges said the additive-free wording simply means that nothing has been added to the manufacturing process. Even the filters, they say, are made from natural materials. But they did say that that didn't mean that the cigarettes aren't producing as much tar or contain as much nicotine. Darren Bent, NTV News.
With Memorial University having to cut its course offerings, there's been much concern this week that tuition fees may go up next year. But the university president, Axel Meissen, says no decisions will be made until...
Situations could exist. Either he did not know what was happening and therefore he failed to exercise his duties, and perhaps there was even a slight touch of incompetence, or he did know, in which case how can he start all over again? So, but it's just the optics of it, of somebody from the board trying to solve a problem that the board was involved in.
What does this do to what does this do to Nortel now that the RCMP is involved?
Well, what it creates is a huge cloud of uncertainty. Criminal investigation in Canada, in the U.S., shareholder lawsuits, and this cloud of uncertainty